Okay, this video is going to guide you through setting up something called a mail merge. And to do this, you need to have your Access database open, your Pet Shop database, and you just need to log on to Moodle and download and save this mail merge Word document here. Open it up once you've done that and have a look at it. Okay, and you'll see that what we've got here is basically a promotional letter that we want to send out to all the owners in our database that's advertising a offer that we've got on for recent owners of pets that knocks 20% off the price of everything within the pet store. Okay, so you don't need species in there. I'll just go over that quickly. So it's 20% off accessories that are sold within the pet store, and we're wanting to try and promote this to our owners that have said on their preferred method of contact that they'd like to be contacted by email. Okay, very similar this in terms of how it works on a very small scale though, very similar to the kind of big marketing things that you'll get through in your inbox from companies like Amazon and any other online retailer that tries to target you with offers and promotions based on stuff that you've bought in the past. So it's kind of like a kind of mini version of that, I guess, but the way that this works is exactly the same as how it will work in the industry. So how do we go about getting the data, so the details of our owners, into this Word document without having to manually type them all up one by one, which would take forever? And that's really where mail merge comes in to solve this. We're going to merge this Word document with data from our Access database. So the first thing we need to do is just log into Access. Okay, now as I stated that we only want to send this this offer to people to people who said that their preferred method of contact was by email. Okay, so to do that, we're going to need to set up something that filters the results and only shows the people that do want to be contacted by that method. You can probably guess what I'm going to create now. It is indeed going to be a query. Okay, so let's create a query to do that. So TBL owner, I'm going to add that in. Don't need any data for pets for this particular one, so I'll just minimize that for a second. And let's add in the details that I need. So I need the title of the owner. Oh, hang on, sorry, let me just go back a second there, so just delete that column. Let's start off with the field that I want to search by. Okay, so preferred contact method, because I only want the email recipients to come back. And then the details that I need, let's just double check. So it's all the address details, surname, forename, title. Okay, so I'm just going to add those into my query here. So title, double click, forename, surname, address line 1, 2, 3, and postcode will do. I'll also bring back the email address as well, because I'm going to need to send out that letter to the appropriate email addresses. Okay, so let me just shift that back across. So I said the criteria for this particular query was people that wanted to be contacted by email. Well, I don't need to use the square brackets here because I only ever want this to bring back people who prefer to be contacted by email, and I used E as the code for that. So if I set the criteria to E there, let's run this query and see if it's working. Okay, and we can see there we've got the filtered list with all the data that we need for those letters in the results of this query. So I'm just going to save this query now. So go to yes, and this is my what should I call this? Yeah, so I'm going to call this my query email promotion query, and I'm just going to press OK on that, and that will save it down the side there. If I just cross that off, every time I run that query, it brings back just the details of the people, owners that want to be contacted by email, so that's absolutely fine. So let me cross that off. Okay, and in terms of my Access database, I'm done with this bit now. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of my Access database. You must close it down, otherwise the next step won't work. So I'm going to close that down now. That query is set up and working, and I'm just going to come and reopen up my Word document, okay, with my promotional letter in. Now, how do I link this Word document to the database? Well, that's where at the top here this mailings tab comes in handy. Okay, so mailings is where you go to set up the mail merge, and the first thing that you're going to do is kind of work from left to right across the top here. Okay, I'm going to start off with selecting recipients. So this is where you set up the link between your Word document and the database. So I'm going to go select recipients, I'm going to use an existing list, and then I'm going to browse to where my database is saved, which is saved in my ICT folder, which is Documents, ICT, where was it, Software Skills, Database, Pet Shop. Okay, so I'm linking my Word document to my database, and if I click open on that, okay, now you can see here I get the options of what I want to link to in terms of data. So I could either link to my pets table in its entirety, so I could effectively get all the details of my pets into this Word document, my owners table, which will include the details of every single owner, or my query that I've just made, my email promotion query. Well, that's the one that I want to use, so I'm just going to click on that and press OK, and nothing in particular will happen. But what you can now do, and you can now see over here that these fields have unblocked themselves and that these are now usable, is if I go up to here, for example, and highlight address line 1 and delete that out, and just press down, tab that down again, click up there, I can now insert a merge field. And if you look at these fields that come up, can you see how they match up to the ones I specified in the query when I designed that? Okay, so I want address line 1, so I'm just going to select that there, and you'll see that line comes up. I'm just going to go through each one and replace them with the merge field, insert to, and just move that down there. Okay, now I'm not going to do that for every field. I'll leave that for you guys to finish off. But what you can do next is, continuing on your way from left to right across the top of the toolbar, is preview to see if that's working or not. So if I click on preview results, and you can see there that it's pulled that data straight from my database, and you can also see that I've got, how many records I've got? I've got 9 records. They will be the 9 records that match up with what was in my database, and I'll just show you that on the title and owner name, for example, down here. So let's try it with the surnames, because I've just used the same address again. So let's put the forename in. Okay, so you can see owner 1 was Alex, owner 2 Bob, Amy, and that will directly match up with the results of that query. And that is effectively what a mail merge is all about. Now up here, you guys just need to put in your fictional company address. Okay, so you can put that company address in, and your pet shop logo, that if you've been using one on the forms, and this letter is good to go, because that's going to all the contacts in the database that selected email as their preferred contact. Your last step would be, and this won't work in college unfortunately, would be to go down here and click as send email messages. So rather than printing it and having to pay for the postage, we could send this as an email. So send email messages, and you can see that again, the 2 options here. Where's it going to get the email address from? Well, because you've also returned the email address in your query, you just literally click on that. Subject line would be the promotional offer. And we'd want that to go to all the records that have been returned. And if you press OK, I don't think it's going to work on mine either, but we'll see what happens when I press OK anyway. No, nothing's happened. Oh no. No, nothing's going to happen. Basically, if I had this set up correctly, if I had Microsoft Outlook set up, which is part of Office, if I can find it, where has it gone? Maybe I don't even have it installed on my PC. Oh, there you go, Microsoft Outlook. So if I had that set up on my PC, basically that message would load up as a ready-to-go email, and I'd literally just have to click send, and all the people in my owners database would receive this email with a letter, with the letter attached to it, ready for them to view. Okay, so that's a mail merge, very powerful feature of Microsoft Word and Microsoft Access. See if you can set yours up, see if you can get that to work in the same style that I've got mine to.